Okay, that's the top 10 nerds thing. Yeah, top 10 nerd a while on this channel here. Put a like on this video. Put the extra quarter down. When was this? September 16th. Let's go.
Welcome back, nerds. Today we count down all the times Marvel heroes showed the worst side of themselves and left a disaster in their wake. 5. Cyclops. Scott Summers left his wife and child to get back with his ex-deceased ex-girlfriend. Jean Grey and Scott Summers were like the it couple of the X-Men. Then Jean passed on and Cyclops mourned and moved on with an exact replica of her, clone of Jean, Madeline Pryor. He has a type in a way that no one has ever had a type before. They fall in love and they have a kid. Scott is showing some signs that he's not like super happy, but he sticks by his wife until his ex-girlfriend comes back to life. When he gets word, Scott just like leaves Madeline and his young son to go see Jean, which is a terrible look for Mr. Summers, I must say. There was even a panel with Madeline looking sadly at a picture of Scott holding their baby, so like, Scott, please get a grip. He did eventually try and call Madeline, but by that point she was really over him and changed her number. 4. Mr. Fantastic. Mr. Fantastic, is he a perfect husband today? No, but he's way...
in my opinion, he doesn't deserve as a woman to focus on technology too much, bro. How you get a girlfriend?
Better than the earlier version of himself. The early Reed Richards seemed to hate women, or just his wife specifically. He would constantly belittle Susan and speak to her rudely, tell her wife should be kissed and not heard,
cut your head off with a
stop
invisible
talking
disc, idiot.
all the time. Just because the attitudes he was showing were common for the time it was written doesn't mean it was right, especially when you're supposed to be a superhero and the best of humanity. He also at one point was trying to rile up a mind-controlled evil Susan, and then to try and snap her out of that mindset, he decided to make contact with her face using his hand. Whether or not the situation called for that kind of thing is up for debate, but it made him look really bad. And y'all are out here complaining about Pedro Pascal having a comfortable relationship with his co-stars. Like, look what you could be dealing with instead. 3. Hank Pym. Hank Pym was once a fan favorite character, and then he also laid hands on his wife and was never really seen the same by a lot of fans. He was not completely himself when he did it. That was retconned later on, but he did it, and it's not a good look, and he had shown aggression in the past, which again made it all look even worse. The actions did have repercussions on the character's life, like getting kicked off the Avengers and a divorce and having this incident brought up all the time. It was wrong. Janet did not deserve it. Pym also created a fake threat to make himself seem like a hero. He made a robot with a failsafe that only he knew, so when it attacked the Avengers mansion and he defeated it, the Avengers would see him as a hero. That is not what happened. He couldn't defeat the robot, but you know who did? Janet. And then she divorced him. The reason she was even hurt by him in the first place was because she opposed this plan. 2. Tony Stark. Tony Stark has made a lot of mistakes, but many consider his biggest to be cloning Thor. He cloned his teammate to use him while he was fighting Captain America. That was the hero registration stuff. Tony wanted to improve the Norse god's design, add a little edge, somehow try and make Thor even more powerful. Hubris. He attempted to do this using cybernetic Stark tech and called the clone Ragnarok. Obviously, Ragnarok is a little on the unstable side.
Hang on. I'm back, y'all.
And he starts trying and succeeding and putting an end to other superheroes, which is not what Tony intended. But Tony, like, why were you messing with the DNA of a god? Creating deranged Thor also made his already bad relationship with Captain America worse. And then when the real Thor shows up again, he isn't happy either. Ragnarok was eventually eliminated by Storm and Hercules using the deranged clone's own hammer. But then he came back to life in the end and joined the Dark Avengers. But one, Scarlet Witch, I think y'all already know what this is. The most diabolical thing a Marvel hero has ever done. Wanda wiping out an entire race of humanity with just a few words and a lot of grief. It's not exactly the Scarlet Witch's shining moment. She was dealing with her magic, not kids, and her brother and her father figure and her teammates and her husband, so a mental break was to be expected, but that doesn't excuse wiping out an entire genre of person. She also, separate from her spell, took out a couple of Avengers, including Vision, Ant-Man, and Hawkeye. Before End-Day, the mutant population was nearing like 1 million-ish, and by the time Wanda finished her sentence, the number dropped to around maybe 10 to 15% of what it once was, probably less. Wanda may have said no more mutants, but that doesn't mean that she meant she wanted to steal the life of every mutant. The hex or like spell was intended to remove abilities. The problem here was that a lot of mutants' lives are attached to their powers. So when you take that power away, you take the life away. Many others just passed from like the aftershocks. Those that did survive now had to figure out how to live in a powerless body. Eventually, everything went back to normal, or as normal as possible. Many mutants were revived, and pretty much everyone got their powers back in a variety of ways. Wanda was also able to patch up her relationships with the Avengers and mutants, though not everyone trusts her to this day. But what do you think? Let us know in the comment section. Thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe.
Okay, if they got their powers back, how do they get their powers back? Make sure you like, comment, share, subscribe, y'all, and have a good day. I will see y'all next time. Wait, is that true? They got their power. Is that true, y'all? Well, you know what? I can trust that. That makes sense. That makes sense, actually. You know what? Top 10 nerd? I'll trust that. Yeah, I'll trust that. And then, yeah, a lot of mutants' powers are attached to their lives. And without their power, they'll die. Yeah, that's... See y'all.